why it'd be nice having...
I'm on YouTube. This is...
I might have to refresh it.
And now we're live on the podcast. So we're doing college football playoffs. So I had tried to record this once, and we kind of screwed up, and I deleted the audio. Well, I say mainly as me. I'm the one who fucked up. So, all right, we're gonna redo this. So, since the games are here in a couple days, we'll kind of go through. We'll look at the lines. We'll talk about who we think's gonna win overall. Whoever, whatever. So first, we'll do the early game: Alabama versus Cincinnati. Right now, I think it's 13.5 for Alabama. I don't know if they cover that. I would hope so. Well, I think Alabama wins. I think it's a close game till the fourth quarter, and then Alabama pulls away in the fourth too, since he can't keep up. So,
yeah, that's what you've been saying for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel on this game. So, I mean, does anyone else have a different feeling of how it's gonna go?
I agree.
What's the spread on this?
13.5.
I think Alabama covers that. I don't think it's close.
I think we talked last time we talked.
So it could be really close, or I think Alabama's just gonna blow them out.
Alabama should blow them out. That's what we said last time, but we're just it almost seems that Cincinnati has to keep this close to expand the college playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Which I don't think is gonna happen.
No,
that's what we want to happen. Other than maybe Devin.
As long as Alabama wins, I don't really care. No, Alabama. So as long as they win, I really don't care.
Yeah, I think they cover.
One of their good receivers, Mechie's out, so that's gonna they lose one of their key weapons there. I mean, they still got they reload well, so that's a good thing. But
this is when Alabama plays their best football too.
Yeah, end of the year. So I don't know. A couple years ago, they got beat by a number 4 team. When they lost to Ohio State the first year, I think it was the first year of college football players when Ohio State had their third string Cardell quarterback in. Yeah, so it makes me a little nervous, but I think overall we'll cover.
Not much to talk about on this one.
So
we got the Heisman.
Dude, you guys gotta watch this play. It was sick.
It's over. Let's go.
Well, it has the Clemson versus Iowa State game going right now, and there's just a pick six just happened for Clemson.
Dude,
so
it was sweet. So the lineman literally knocked it down. Nobody knew what happened. So they were yelling at one of the linemen for Iowa State. So he turned around, was like, "What?" Smacked it with his hand into the Clemson's defensive back, caught it, ran a pick six.
There's a flag on this play. There's probably a false start. Probably won't count.
Celebrating.
Well, maybe.
It might be an excessive celebration.
Alabama is definitely winning this game.
Yeah, we settled that.
Yeah, 14 points.
I want to go back to this play. Right here.
Yeah, you're such a break a signed helmet, Garrett.
Watch this. Oh, the freaking quarterback hit it. What an idiot.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Hit it forward?
Not hit it right to somebody.
That's what I'm saying.
You might be better off just pulling that earpiece out, Garrett. All right, we'll jump into the Georgia versus Michigan game then. This should be the more exciting game. I think that's why they have it on at 7:30. Right now, Georgia's 7.5-point favorites.
I mean, we're all kind of biased, but I really like Michigan.
Dude, it's just
I really do too.
How do you not? They have so many names.
Oh yeah, their defense.
Dude, they're freaking.
See, what scares me though, is Georgia just losing to Alabama. They're gonna come out pissed.
Michigan just has it rolling
right now. But everyone's been saying all year Georgia, besides for their one game against Alabama, they were, the team that actually looked good. Michigan had some questions with losing to Michigan State.
It could be though, it's where Michigan watched film and they found out what Alabama did that really hurt Georgia bad, and then now they're kind of adjusting to where they can throw that too in there along with their normal defense.
I know. I don't think they officially announced it yet, but one of Michigan's key defensive players is out for this game.
Is it because
I think
of
it's
draft?
like a corner, like one of their best corners.
I don't know. They still got enough.
I don't know why. COVID maybe or.
I think they still got enough playmakers though on defense.
Yeah, right. I mean, just their freaking
their defense has always been insane.
Defensive core is just like.
And I know we've been talking about okay, Michigan can't really pass. Michigan. Oh, Cade has come out and proved that he.
When you look at the one games where they couldn't run, dude, they just passed all over. I mean, it was Michigan State.
No
But-
picks, 400 yards. I mean,
dude, he's just so smart with the ball.
Yeah.
And when you have that type of running game with 3 freaking dudes
dude,
who
studs.
can all freaking
Studs.
catch the ball out of the backfield, who can all just freaking break out whenever,
Right,
and they have like the best offensive line grade in the college football.
right.
So it's just like, I mean, just everything adds up to Michigan.
Yeah.
That's
so
what I
how
don't-
can they not?
Right. Like obviously, all season, like Devin said, we thought Georgia. But when we started watching after the Michigan State game, Michigan's just like, holy crap.
Right.
Like we need to actually
Right.
prove our name right,
Right.
now.
And like, Alabama had a few bad games. Georgia only had like 1 or 2 bad games. And I just think Michigan only had the 1 bad game.
I haven't seen Georgia's schedule, but I feel like Michigan definitely plays a tougher schedule. Like the Big Ten is absolutely
See,
ridiculous.
SEC is twice as hard as Big Ten.
Okay, that's not even close.
Yeah.
But
The Big Ten's been a
Right.
joke the last few
But-
years.
I don't know like how many games they actually
not
play.
twice as good. But
Put
you're
Besi-
exaggerating.
So Georgia plays Alabama, but then who else is it?
take out Michigan and
Florida.
Ohio State.
I don't know.
Florida.
Take out Ohio State
Okay.
and Michigan out of the Big Ten. Who else is good?
I mean, there was
There was
4
Iowa.
top 5 teams or top 10
Penn
teams.
State, Iowa.
There's 3.
Now, but at the
Nebraska.
time,
I was
there
gonna say
was-
once the Big Ten starts playing each other,
At the
that's
big-
when
like,
like
halfway
the
through
The
the
rankings
same with the
go.
SEC though. Oh, SEC always has a bunch, and then they start playing, and they always
not
finish.
this year.
Let's look at rankings.
Normally, yes. Normally, I would say SEC is.
Right, but like this year,
This year, I feel like it's been
all Big Ten.
in a little tougher schedule. I would agree.
And then, like Bailey said, I mean, you start once you get to the conference games, you start playing each other. That's why rankings kind of get all jacked
Mhm.
up. But I mean, they're still difficult opponents.
Let's say
I'm not
even-
knocking on the SEC.
no,
Like,
yeah, the
obviously
SEC is
it's
nuts.
so,
but, I mean, you
always good.
just to
They're
come out and
always-
say the SEC is twice as good as Big Ten, that's just incorrect.
Yeah, because I mean there are teams.
I mean,
They might be
I would put
equally as good.
Old Miss would beat Ohio State.
no fucking way.
No, no.
Absolutely not. Ohio State right now would probably be top. They mean,
Top 5.
yeah.
No.
They probably could. I'm not.
could
I'm
beat
not gonna
anybody.
say. Yeah, they
They
could.
could. Will that probably happen? No, but
Yeah. I mean, they could come out.
Ole Miss
I feel
cannot
like
beat any of the.
Ohio State will compete better against Alabama than Cincinnati will.
I agree. Unfortunately,
Right. I hate Ohio State. But
yeah.
They're just Ohio State's just always been.
I don't
good,
like
though.
Cincinnati either, but they just have to play well for anybody to finally be like, we have to expand the playoffs, and
Oh yeah.
they actually have a chance of a
They
non-top
need
Power
that.
5
Like,
school. You know what I mean?
for a business aspect, I don't see why they don't. They would make so much money on games and just
And then
there would be so many views.
we could see who's the best conferences and the best.
Exactly.
you know
That's
what I
where like when we have this argument with Devin, we could actually see.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
We could see who's wrong and right. Normally, I am wrong though, so
Yeah.
There are a few
Same.
times you're right.
not often.
So for the college football playoff rankings, how they ranked them out at the end of the season, and there's only 3 Big Ten teams where there's 6, so double the amount of teams are in the top 25 over Big Ten.
That's not the official ranking.
That's the final ones that get put up by the college football playoffs.
I don't like it.
The only 3 are Michigan State, Ohio State, and Michigan. Are the only 3 teams from the Big Ten.
And then Iowa and Penn
Penn
State had
State.
a lot of injuries, which killed them.
Right.
Yeah.
And those are both solid teams.
I think Ole Miss is okay, but they would not be. I don't even know if
I
they beat
mean-
Penn State and Iowa.
Old Miss is
Iowa
ranked 8th.
was tearing
Iowa
up for a
State.
while.
I mean,
Okay.
did you say Iowa State?
I said Iowa.
Okay, I
Iowa
should have said
State.
Ole Miss would probably beat like Michigan State. I should have threw that in there.
I still don't even know that.
I mean, Michigan State.
Do you
does
think Ohio
not
State
very good.
deserves the be above Notre Dame or Cincy?
I mean,
Yes.
I mean, skill wise and what I think, like they could, like their potential, yes, but just for purposes of college football needs Cincinnati and
Right.
stuff, no.
Yeah.
Like a bit like I was saying earlier, business aspect. Yeah, Cincinnati's gonna get in there, but Ohio State, talent wise, I feel like is like a top 5 team.
I think I do wish like college football as a whole would get rid of the pay to play shit where it's like Alabama pays some no name school here's $5 million to come and play and get your
Right.
ass kicked. Michigan does the same thing.
Yeah,
Texas is
I hate
another
that
school that
too.
pays a shit ton of money to have
So dumb.
no-name schools, which Texas has not been any good in. So they've
I mean,
been
how-
losing to those no-name schools. But
Yeah, but how are these programs going to continue to play that if they don't do that? Like, here Central Michigan just signed, like, so their game got, like, canceled or something,
yeah,
and they were getting paid, like, $300,000 to play this game or
Yep,
something.
the
And
bowl
they-
game.
And then they signed for, like, $3.5 mil to reschedule to play Boise State or something, or whoever they're
Yep.
playing now.
No way.
Yeah, is that
Who do
crazy?
they play?
Well, it is
tomorrow, I
Boise
think.
State.
Oh, no,
That'd be cool.
tonight? They might play tonight.
I heard Central's actually like really
No,
good.
they play New Year's Day.
Okay. That's exciting.
Central's okay.
It'd be kind of cool to see them play like Boise.
Yeah, so it's
Just to see how they compete.
Right.
not that really has anything related to what we're talking about, but
Okay, we always go off topic.
Yeah.
It's about college
it's about college
at
football in
least.
general. So I guess we're thinking probably Alabama versus Michigan finals. Is that what
Oh, yeah,
everyone's kind of
yeah.
thinking?
are you thinking that?
I'm thinking that too.
I was kind of playing devil's advocate. I actually think Michigan's gonna beat Georgia,
I mean, it just makes sense.
but
It does.
I think it's gonna be a close game.
I think so too.
I don't think it's the 6 and I would definitely take the plus 6.5
Oh, yeah,
on
for
Michigan all
sure,
day if
for
I'm
sure.
betting on the
I
game.
think DraftKings
Yeah.
had it at 7.5. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the season's
It's probably moved a little bit. Oh yeah,
You can
7.5,
also- you can
7.5.
also tease it too.
So I would be slamming this all day.
I would take money line, honestly. It's just
Yeah, plus 230.
Yeah, why would you?
all Georgia fans are saying the opposite though. So
Well, it's because they were like the best team forever until obviously Alabama beat them. Then now they're like second guessing everything. In Michigan,
just
they
don't-
were from being
just don't
unranked
have,
all the
They
way
don't have
up.
the names that Alabama and Michigan has.
To
Yeah.
say, I haven't
Yeah,
heard any
exactly.
big names from Georgia. I
It's
just
just
heard they've
right.
been playing well
They're
together.
not fully rounded team.
No.
I mean, they are, but it's not compared to Alabama and Michigan.
I think they're just like a very well coached team, but they just don't have like the 5-star recruits like what everyone else does. I mean, don't get me wrong, that doesn't usually mean a ton of stuff because there are some 4-star recruits that are freaking insane. But still,
Yeah, I say Alabama and Michigan in the finals.
Yeah.
need another ball in there.
I would personally would like to see it over another rematch against Georgia, just for
Yeah.
Alabama's sake. I feel like Georgia would come out and play way different than how they played the first time. So I think personally Alabama has a better shot of winning against Michigan for the first time versus a rematch against Georgia. Both games I think would be good,
Yeah.
but I think
I don't know if I agree with that either.
why you think they would we beat them once, we're gonna come out and play again?
Alabama and Michigan hasn't played in maybe the last 20 years.
They played like 2 years ago.
Oh, in a bowl game. okay.
Yeah,
They
and
did.
Alabama destroyed them.
Yeah, but
thanks, Kyle.
that was because sitting out.
That was
half
big.
The teams were sitting out.
Right.
I think it was a lot more to do with that was Harbaugh had come in and it wasn't. I think he had 1 year of recruiting where he
Basically
still
what I'm
had
saying-
still a lot of seniors and stuff that weren't who he picked. So
Basically, what I'm getting at the point of Alabama knows Georgia, and I'm gonna take Saban over whoever fucking Kirby or whatever the fuck his name is.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And
Right.
like,
Yeah. No.
obviously Harbaugh's not a better coach than probably both of those guys.
No.
But I mean, they just don't know Michigan, and Michigan's just that type of team that we're like, we don't fucking care who we play, we're gonna go smash them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I think Alabama
They probably
comes out on top.
They probably should win.
Yeah. I think so. Definitely Alabama, Michigan. We're all.
oh yeah,
agreeing
I'm
on that.
excited for next year personally. Like it'd be great if we win again, but Bryce
We
Young
as in
should be
Alabama?
back. Yeah.
We as in Michigan are fucking win.
Yeah.
did you-
Michigan, let's fucking go.
Could you
Dude,
imagine
if Michigan
Michigan
just
have
gets a
all
top-
their players, dude? You know how
Right.
insane.
Well,
it
Don't
would
they
be?
have a lot of seniors or no?
They lose Haskins, they lose
Yeah.
Hutchinson and Ojabo.
I know they lose a lot
I
of
think
Dan
kids.
Cade
Ross.
stays.
But their running back situation won't be bad because they have 2 other
They have
running backs.
Corum and
that are
Edwards who
Yeah.
are
Insane.
Oh,
insanely
this is
good.
gonna be basically.
Ronnie
Haskins.
Bell's coming back another year.
Oh,
He's been injured
dude.
all season. He's one of
Ronnie
the top
Bell.
receivers in college football.
Number 6. I don't know his name, but he's
We
been
have
solid.
we have the freshman from Lansing, number 1. I forgot his name. He's very very good.
I think Mechie's about the only guy leaving out of Alabama.
That's
Oh,
just-
okay. So Alabama.
They might
Alabama's
lose
back.
their left tackle. I think it is like one of their linemen who's old, but otherwise,
I think their defense that really
Other-
good
so-
defensive lineman's leaving too. I think
Oh,
I
is he?
heard. He's like he should
Yeah.
have been Heisman. Remember Colton talking about him?
Oh,
This
yeah,
guy's
dude.
nuts.
He was
So-
saying, yeah,
so-
his
Because
stats
he had
are, like,
double the
double.
stats.
He did, I saw it.
offensively, the only like returning starters were 2 linemen, and they even flipped positions. One went to guard when they was tackle, and the other one. So that was the only on the for starter wise on Alabama's offense And they only have 2 returning players, and they were both linemen. So the rest of these players are all, they might have been, they're young, and like Bryce Young, if I don't know if he actually officially redshirted last year or not, but otherwise he's staying though. He's a freshman technically, yeah. So he'll be staying for his sophomore year next year too. So wouldn't it be crazy though to you redshirt freshman year you get a ring. Then if you can win this year and get a championship ring, and then hopefully next year. That'd be 3 rings in 3 years of college football, and then go to the NFL. Oh.
The thing is, it doesn't matter who these teams are losing, especially Alabama. Like
they reload.
I mean, Michigan had a really good recruiting class too, but it's just like, who cares, right? It's just like a young league
come in, yeah.
Well, it's kind of the same way too in like the NFL though. Like we have a lot of like young quarterbacks coming in that are taking places and tearing up. A bunch of young running backs too who's coming in and kind of being like a franchise.
Yeah, I like to see all these college running backs coming in and actually having a running game.
Yeah.
So
I think it'd be sweet now that you can get paid in college for
NCAA,
athletes.
I can't wait
for athletes just to stay there 4 years. You know how cool that would be just for athletes to just kind of stay 4 years.
I don't think it's gonna. I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
No, I don't think it'll happen. But
injury-wise,
now that they can actually like get paid though, I think.
Well, the college can't pay them.
Right. But
well, they can do their own.
No, but they endorse the living crap.
Yeah, the sports boosters is who comes in and goes, hey, I own a car dealership. I'm gonna give you a free car to come to this college.
Yeah, exactly. Or
there's
like
ways around it.
Tom Brady just signed Cade
and a couple others. But that was pretty sweet.
That was.
So you guys really think Alabama's gonna win it all, huh?
I hate to say it because I love Michigan and I would want them so bad to win, but it's hard for me to not say
Alabama. I just had
Alabama.
the same argument. It's just like they have everything.
Right.
And
this year,
so does Alabama. And they've always been there.
I think
they know
Michigan
how it
has
feels.
like the better story behind it than what Alabama does.
Alabama's got the
Alabama's just like
everything
good.
just feels right for Michigan to win this whole thing.
Yeah, because they had this huge like pump up story to where like, what's his nuts defensive back?
Hutchinson.
Yeah, Hutchinson literally like sat down with every single about to be like senior, and was like, dude, we all need to stay one more year to make this run.
I think the Georgia game with Michigan is going to be the big statement. If they come out and stomp Georgia, like Georgia don't even look like they have a chance. I'd be scared. That's gonna be scary for the final game. But if it's a close game in between Georgia and Michigan, then and then injuries. Both of these games there tends to be an injury. Like seems like every year one of the good teams loses a key player. So all it would take is for something like that on Alabama or Michigan or Georgia or even Cincy. The one interesting thing is Cincy's main running back is transferred from Alabama last year.
Oh, is it?
So yep, he was in 2 years at Alabama and then he transferred over, I believe.
So he could just be giving them tips like, okay, this is what I've been doing.
I don't know
if they changed much, but it's hard for me to not say Alabama just because we can say Michigan has all these players, this is their year, but if you look at it from Alabama's aspect and actually let's sit through their eyes, it's the same thing for them. They got the Heisman, they got all these talents, like Devin said, they're all super young, and they've been there. They just know how it feels. They got the best coach in college football, so I don't know. It's just hard for me to not say Alabama, as much as I want Michigan to win.
I mean, I get why you do. Don't get me wrong. Like I totally understand. I mean, Alabama's just always been that one team that's always been number one every single year. Nobody ever competes against them. That's why whenever there's an upset, it's like, holy shit, Alabama just lost. Like, never saw this coming ever. Yeah. Then when you see like Michigan lose, it's like, oh,
I just don't see Alabama. Even if Georgia beats Michigan, I see Georgia winning it all. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just that gut feeling.
I do think.
Like I said, if Georgia wins, I'm almost more scared of that game versus Michigan. I mean, both games I think are good games either way.
Because I think Michigan though, if they top Georgia, who was the number one team, like they're gonna be so pumped up and ready to go against Alabama because everyone obviously knows Alabama's gonna freaking win their game. So Alabama's like, oh, this would just be super easy for us. So where it's like Michigan, they have to actually battle and actually have to play good in order for them to actually make a statement.
Yeah.
Too much hype around Alabama, I think.
Watch it be both underdogs.
Cincy versus Michigan.
I don't think that's possible, but that'd be sweet.
Wouldn't that be sick?
That would be nuts. Then there would definitely be
Key injury takes
expansion.
Alabama out early.
You know?
Bryce Young gets taken out early, and
Alabama had a few really bad games. That just makes me think, man.
Dude,
It just takes
they're
one.
they're
Yeah,
lost
right.
lost to Texas A&M and then Auburn. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Michigan. Realistically, I feel like Michigan should be undefeated.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure. I mean,
They should have never
Michigan
lost to
State.
Michigan State, but it's always a rivalry
So
game.
tough.
You know,
Yeah.
look at like Alabama versus Auburn. That's a rivalry game. They always it's
Mhm.
always close no
It's
matter
always
what.
close.
You know, very very few times have it been one team blows out the other.
It is weird though.
That's one
because
reason why I hate Cam.
There's been a few times though where I saw like Alabama go against some unranked teams, and the unranked team kind of just kept it close, like closer than they should have obviously been.
Yeah.
So that's why to me it's kind of almost like,
You know,
does Alabama kind of deserve it? I mean, yeah, they still won, but it was a close game against an unranked.
personally, I'm surprised they got moved to number one.
It was
Yeah, it was just.
for play or
Money move for
Money
the
move,
for the
yeah.
matchups. So, but yeah, I guess that's all I kind of got. We'll probably re-talk this after next week after the games are over, see who's
Good
where.
talk, Garrett.
So, yeah.
Always.
All right. I think that's all we're doing tonight. We probably won't go live anymore. So,